What is up, everybody? I'm Jason with JJP Construction. I'm a Los Angeles contractor and developer, and this is Buy, Build, Sell. This is the inside scoop to how to buy real estate, how to build real estate, and how to sell real estate. I give you every single piece of information I could possibly think of giving you week by week. And today we are talking about something I like to call, everyone really likes to call it, it's not really something particular to me, price per square foot. And this is kind of a big deal, how to calculate the square footage of a house. What are we really pricing per square foot? So I hope this video helps. Let's get into it. Not to waste too much of your time, but this video is going to be talking about how I calculate square footage, what my assumption of square footage really truly is, and that goes for the buying and the selling aspect of it. It's really important to understand what calculation you're looking at. A lot of the times, people will put for sale, they'll write, 900 square foot home for sale, Reseda, whatever it is, and they'll put all their tags and everything that they want to talk about in the house. Okay, well, what's that 900 actually representing? Is it representing interior square footage, exterior square footage? Is it representing, the house built before the remodel? Because a lot of the times in the 1920 through 60 homes, you'll see additions that weren't necessarily calculated or put into the home, right? Like they'll close off an awning, or they'll remodel their garage and make it interior square footage, and they won't count that towards it. Are they counting it? Are they not counting it? So one, finding out about that. And then on the sale side, now keep in mind I deal with mostly new construction homes. So the numbers are relatively easy to follow as to how things get broken down and what relates to what. But on a general note, really understanding, even from not the new construction, but any sale of a home, what square footage are we talking about when we are buying a home? So that goes for the sell and the buy, right? What's the seller supposed to put, and what's a buyer supposed to believe they're buying? Okay? We'll start with that. Once we answer those questions, then we'll really understand how price per square foot works. Okay? You with me? Let's do this. So, the first thing to understand is when buying a home that you're planning on remodeling anyways, don't focus on the square footage. Just forget about it. It wouldn't matter if it was 100 square feet or 1,200 square feet. If the floor plan works, you're lucky. If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. You're gonna have to pull permits. You're gonna have to do a whole bunch of work anyways. And you're really gonna have to adjust where it needs to be adjusted. If there's square footage that's not counted on the property, it'll get counted once the whole process is done. If this house is considered 900 as opposed to 1,200, my tax basis will be less. It's a fair reason to assume that. But let's say you buy the house, you think it's 900 square feet, it's really 1,200 square feet, and you go ahead and you pull a addition to do a 500 square foot addition on the house will get reassessed. The square footage will get reassessed. Doesn't matter. And on my side, on my point of view, 9 out of 10 times I'm knocking the house down anyways. So my care for that information is not as prevalent. Now on the sale side, so when you're actually selling a piece of property the square footage does matter. It's either it's a a decent home, 20 years old that just needs you need to get rid of it, or you're selling a remodeled house, or you're selling a new construction home. Whatever the case is for that scenario, someone would say, "Oh, go based on the assessors." Well, here's the problem with, truthfully, all of the data that's out there about square footages. It's all over the place. It's really hard to figure out exactly how many square feet a house is. So, if you're a buyer and you're looking to buy a house that's for sale, that square footage matters to you, my honest recommendation is during the contingency period, have someone measure out the house. There are many services for people who do that. You do not want to go based on someone who comes to assess the home, like from a bank or anyone like that, because they're going to most likely be pretty loose with the measurements, not be exact, and they're just trying to get outer dimensions, really. So they're not going to be the best resource for that information. And let's give you a scenario. Let's say you buy a house and you're under the assumption that it's 5,000 square feet. It's a big house, right? And you have it measured out and it ends up being 5,500. Oh no, really big. The question would then be, okay, well, is that, who's wrong, who's right? Why is it bigger than it's supposed to be? Is it permitted? Like all these big questions, right? What if it ends up being 47, 45? Why does it say 5,000? That's going to be a conversation that has to happen between you and the seller, or you and the buyer. You have to figure that out. But bottom line is whatever it gets measured out to, that's pretty much the number that we need to keep to, right? I've had many scenarios. A new construction is one of those things where you get many different opinions on the matter. The city is not always so clear as to what number they're basing things off of. Is it interior square footage, exterior square footage? There's allowances in like certain areas and certain things, and then there are also elements that are not allowed. So, how are you supposed to actually calculate square footage when, that item's not included and that item's not included, but this item is included and that item is included? Well, I'll basically put it to you, my opinion of the matter is like such. I think that if I had to build it, you have to pay for it. Pretty simple. Where it comes down to how it is assessed and how it's calculated, listen, on the plans it shows. On the plans, I'll show you right here.
Okay, so we're looking at three things here. Floor area BMO, floor area school fees, and and the BMO calculations. So the BMO calculations is basically telling you what the maximum amount of build is allowable. Okay, the floor area BMO is basically breaking down that square footage and saying, hey, we calculated just 5 square feet under the maximum buildable square footage, and this is what we've got. The floor area school fees is what the city is going to be charging you for the square footage that you have. Now, literally, what I'm trying to say is, this is on the plans. This is what the plans say the square footage of the house is. But when you actually measure out the house actually measures out to a lot more than that. It measures out to 3,800 something square feet, because it's not even calculating in these numbers the garage. So the question is really, where do you feel the numbers should be based off of? What do you want to be paying for? And what should you be calculating in your process? So these numbers are great to be basing off of, and they're usually pretty accurate with what you're going to be building as long as you stick to the plan, but not always is it going to give you the actual number. So keep this in mind. I hope this helps, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions.
So genuinely, there is no real answer to what is the golden rule. I think people have different opinions as to how they break it down. And that's really where I lead into this next topic, price per square foot. Well, price per square foot is essentially getting you a number that will help you relatively understand what your cost may be. But just like in the calculating square footage for a home, it's really hard to narrow that down, right? And say this should be in, this shouldn't be in. The same thing for price per square foot. How do you know what's included in price per square foot? Is the price per square foot someone gives you including everything you need from start to finish? Is it just including the build? Is it just including the material? Is it just including labor? Is it just including X? Is it just including Y? It's a big conversation. When someone says, I will give you a price per square foot, understand what's included in that price. So I usually give people a price per square foot to give them an understanding of what a project may cost. For example, a 3,000 square foot project, I would tell them that's gonna probably be about $1.2 million. Okay, great. We understand that if we're gonna build 3,000 square feet, will probably be about 1.2, right? Now, hold on one second. That doesn't mean it's going to be 1,200,000. I'm not quoting you 1,200,000. I'm telling you it's the range. If you want to quote, we got to quote it out. We got to actually do plans. We got to do the design. We actually need to get together to understand what we're building, right? And then from there, I can give you a price because now we know what we're doing together. So I hope that clarifies a few things. I hope that kind of puts some things into perspective for you. Just to quickly review, square footage on the purchase doesn't really matter if you're already going to be doing work on it. Square footage on the purchase, if you are not doing any work to it, does matter. You want to make sure you're getting maximum square footage for your dollar, right? Check it. Have it measured. Make sure that you understand what you're buying. Forget about the price aspect of it, what it's going to be a square foot. Just make sure that you're comfortable with buying the house that you're buying for, the amount of square footage you're getting. Okay? On the sales side, discuss with your realtor how you really want to portray the amount of square footage that's available for the home. But the bottom line is however you break it down, if you're gonna reduce square footage on the MLS or on any site that you post the house on, maybe you have to raise your dollars to cover the amount of square footage you're not calculating in it. But as a buyer, please be aware, you don't get to just buy the toilet. You have to buy the whole thing. The whole house that was built, you have to pay for it. So keep that in mind as well. Price per square foot. Anyone out there searching, looking, trying to find the guy who's going to give you the best price per square foot, every single person out there is a liar. Everyone. There is no such thing as $100 a square foot contractor, $200, $300, $400, $1,000 square foot contractor. Every single person that gives you a price per square foot is telling you a price and missing 1,000 things. Don't believe it. Don't go for it. It's great to talk to people about a price per square foot because it helps you understand where their pricing is, roughly. But the project will never be exact. No one's ever going to come up to you and go, wait, you're building a 3,000 square foot house? I'll do it for $412.17. Just doesn't exist. Nobody knows that number because things are going to change. Not every project is the same. Your needs, your wants are always different than the person that came before you. So I hope it makes sense. I hope you get it. If you have any questions, leave them below. I'd love to get to them. Let's start a conversation. Everyone, this has been Buy, Build, Sell Talk. Thank you so much for sticking around. Listen to my nonsense about our industry, about what we do, about how to help bring some knowledge to the table here. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Thank you so much. While I'm here, I just want to say thank you so much for all the support. You guys have been incredible. The channel's been growing really nicely, and I'm just excited to see it keep going. So if you're a fan, thanks for sticking around. Go ahead and like this video. Let other people like you know that this video is here and that they may enjoy it. If you like this video and you're new here, go ahead and press that subscribe button and the bell. It also lets you know that I'm posting more stuff. I post at least 2 or 3 times a week. So hopefully I'm constantly bringing you guys great content and great value. If you thought this was valuable, thank you. I hope the next video is too. Go ahead, share the video with your friends. Hopefully it can help them too. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks, guys.